There we go.
There it
Hello
is.
and welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Howard. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So boys, let's get it started. Okay, this is going to be your choice tonight. You guys, your choice. Do we start with the good stuff or the bad stuff?
You know,
Celtics or the
the
Patriots?
bad stuff can be the good stuff sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
So you want to start with the Patriots?
Yeah. Let's pile on like
Okay.
the fellowship of the miserable,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. All right. Patriots 1-5. Again, they lost last week. The Raiders. Jimmy G gets hurt, which is what a shock. I know, Timmy, you were very shocked that Jimmy G would get hurt.
Shocked.
and
They
then
lost to Brian Hoyer.
and then Brian Hoyer comes in, and they lose to Brian Hoyer, and they lose to a very bad Raiders team. That's
Yeah.
a team that was trying to lose that game all 60 minutes.
That the safety was the first time they'd been above 20 points all year.
Yeah. So they lose that game, and now for sure, there's no reason to win any more games the rest of the season. We'll start with Uncle Joe. You're 1-5. The rest of the season is what? Reviewing, trying to establish what personnel moves forward, and trying to lose as many games to get a top pick to get a quarterback. Is that pretty much it?
That sounds like a good plan to me. Whether they'll go along with that is a whole nother thing. I I think they may as well just make all these games scrimmages, for the improvement to the offensive and defensive line. I think a lot of the skill players are going to be gone over the next year or two. I don't expect to see anyone. Mac Jones is terrible, but he threw the best pass of his life there that could have won the game, and Parker just bobbled it and dropped it.
Timmy, sometimes I feel like the Boston sports media doesn't even know how football works. Football's not like baseball or basketball or hockey as far as the trading deadline. The irony is that Bill Belichick in the last 20 years has been the most active guy for making deals during the season. And that may be just one or possibly two. So the whole idea, Timmy, that we have a list of 10 or 15 guys that could be traded is just not reality.
Who's really worth anything? Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, you trade we're not
Bourne
going to
would be
trade
a
him.
good one.
Yeah, Bourne. Yeah, Bourne. You're right. Yeah,
Uche,
I mean,
because you'll be trading these guys because they're free agents. So the
Next year,
Bournes and
yeah.
the Uches of the world, if you plan on moving away from them after this season, there's no reason to keep them because they also could hurt you by helping you win games.
That's true. And the
I
only reason someone would trade for a lot of these guys, though, is if they have injury problems at a specific position and have needs that they have to replace, rather than get someone off the street, have someone that's in the league and practicing and playing and already in shape.
Timmy, don't you wish we could trade? Bill Belichick could trade with Bill Belichick because he's the only Nimrod that, if you just think about that Sanu deal, when we're talking about
the
trades,
Jimmy G trade. The
deadline,
Jimmy G
we're
trade,
lucky
right?
if you get
Yeah.
a 6th-round pick for anybody in the league. He gave up a 2nd-round pick for an absolute.
Well, you got to remember, Tom demanded Sanu.
Yeah.
He demanded. Emmanuel Sanders went for a 4th-round pick and was 10 times the player Sanu ever thought of being.
I know,
in
but
that
Belichick
same
didn't.
trade deadline. But Tom didn't want Sanders. He wanted Sanu, and he had to pay whatever they were
He
asking.
didn't negotiate very well. That was a complete bust. But Timmy, the expectations are, like Joe said, talking about 4th-round picks, 5th-round picks. You're not really going to get much for any of
Well,
these guys.
I'm putting the trading thing aside here. Is it just our turn to suck? You know what I mean? Every other team in this league, we were impervious to this for 20 years. It was such an anomaly to the NFL. Every other team in this league went up, they went down, they went up, they went down. They all went through that cycle 4 or 5 times in the entire time that Tom Brady was here. We were impervious to it. I don't know if we could put it all for Brady. I mean, does Belichick get some of the credit for the players that he picked, the type of players that he picked? I mean, Tom Brady did not win all those games by himself. We had some tremendous defenses there for a while.
Well,
He
Timmy,
made
we've
some
been bad
great.
for 5 years. We've been bad.
I know we
so,
have been bad. I know.
so I mean, this
One
is
of them.
this is
One
not
of
a
them
It's
was
an
the
good.
COVID
interesting
year.
point, Tim, because like all the teams that were good back then, like Denver and the Colts and the
Steelers.
Patriots, the Steelers, are all the shit bums now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a league of, you load up on first round picks. You get, you're in the top 10 for 3 or 4 years, and those guys mature, and those other the high second rounders and the high third rounds, they improve, and you get better. That's the way the league is built to act, right? That's the algorithm for the league,
And
right?
but the Patriots didn't go that way. They tried to
They
have a
never did.
competitive rebuild, and they tried to win like 8, 9 games a year, which puts you in the mediocrity of the
Yeah.
first round.
But the reality of it is,
The lesser, getting the third best offensive tackle, or the fourth, fifth best quarterback, or the
But I'm not
fourth
buying those.
best quarterback.
Joe, I'm
no,
not
no, no,
buying
no.
those
I'm just saying.
excuses
I'm
that
just saying,
much.
Scotty. The reality of it is, Scott, we're right, kind of where we're supposed to be right now.
No, but Timmy, we have made huge mistakes. I mean, just
Oh,
off the top
no,
of my head.
Scotty, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not
Yes.
disagreeing with you. But in
I
the
mean,
algorithm
so
of
I'm
the
saying,
NFL,
but we've had opportunities, Timmy. So
there's
instead of N'Keal Harry,
Scotty, it's been terrible, terrible personnel picks. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
and how much longer are we going to deal with this? I mean, Bill Belichick, since Tom Brady has left, has completely failed in the personnel side of the organization. It's not even.
You know what I think? I think his arrogance and his what do they say? Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. And I think I'm stealing that line from somebody in the Globe this week.
It was Henry
I think
Kissinger.
he I think Bill just believes he's impervious to criticism. He's impervious to he just doesn't give a fuck, If we win, it seems like that because somehow he survived all of the criticism through the years and always came out on top, and now he's not coming out on top. You know, he needs a slice of humble pie. Maybe he needs a huge slice of humble pie. I don't know if that's going to fix how he does things, but obviously the way he's doing things right now is not working.
Joe, has he held this organization hostage the last few years?
No, I think every other organization in the NFL has held them hostage. They've stripped them of all their player personnel people, all their scouts are all over the place. They're in Atlanta, they're in Houston, they're in Denver, they're in Minnesota, they're in Detroit. His administration is gone, so he doesn't have anyone who knows what they're doing telling him who to pick.
Yeah,
If
that's
Josh
a great point.
McDaniels is still here, is Mac Jones the Mac Jones he is today?
Yep.
Well, you're not going to make anything out of this personnel. I mean, the offensive line's not going to play any better if McDaniels is here or O'Brien here.
Yeah.
They're
You
just
can't
not
make a
gonna
silk purse out of a sow's ear, as they say.
Yeah,
He did
not-
he did when Mac was a rookie though.
Well, he had a
Yeah, but
better
you go
offensive
back and
line.
watch those games. Mac didn't do anything in those games.
Well, he did, but he didn't fuck anything up either.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's just so many bad moves, guys, that he's made over the last few years.
Yeah.
1-5. They play the Bills this week. Then they have the Dolphins. They're not, despite what Joe wants to dream about, they're not winning those.
1-16.
So they end up 1-7. Okay, he has to get fired. I mean,
He's not going to get fired, Scotty. I don't think he deserves to get fired. He probably deserves to get fired, but he has given this town too much to get fired, in my opinion.
Okay, so which I understand. So why wouldn't they make a deal that he's moved upstairs, give him a soft landing?
Next year, they'll let him ride the year out.
Which I guess in some ways, I guess you do let him ride the year out because he's doing such a poor job at it.
You can blame him. It'll be getting rid of him a lot easier.
But also, he's actually doing exactly what we want: losing games, being a poor coach. And Timmy, I expound on your point of the arrogance. despite all the losses and all the failed personnel moves, those press conferences, when he talks to the media, he's still as condescending as ever to them.
Yeah, that's him.
So he's still,
I wonder how much not having Ernie Adams. Ernie. I think he respected and listened to Ernie Adams. And I'm not putting myself in any type of space, but when I coached hockey, I kept somebody on the bench with me, and I said, when I'm getting kooky, give me the tap, okay? Give me the tap. When I'm being a lunatic, when I'm making stupid decisions, because I used to get very emotional, give me the tap. Ernie Adams used to give him the tap, I think. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And say,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Bill, yeah, you might think about this and that. And I think he had so much respect for Ernie Adams. It's like his consigliere's gone now, and he doesn't have him anymore.
So if we're to, that's a great point to me. If we're to believe that the successor is Mayo, Gerard Mayo, that doesn't really answer the question of creating new coaching staffs and new personnel, Joe, because it's what is he going to do? He's going to inherit these guys, and we're going to have the same problem.
Well, at least all these guys will have another year experience. They've got a lot of guys that have no experience. They've, the coaching, they mostly have quality control assistants that are in jobs like as assistant coaches, ahead of
We have the
time.
Belichicks.
Yeah.
You assume that
Well,
if Belichick gets
that's
fired,
the only department that works, the D-backs, really.
if Belichick gets fired, did the Suns go with him?
No, they'll probably be like Shanahan, go someplace else.
No, but do they get fired from the Patriots?
Yes, I would assume so, and that they would probably land. At least one of them will be on Shanahan's staff right off the bat, and another one will go somewhere else. Another one of his buddies, maybe Sean Payton's staff. He's going to have openings on defense for sure.
If they don't go to like an Alabama or something like that.
No, they'll go to his buddies in the pros.
Yeah. Belichick has a lot of connections in college and in the NFL. He's going to call in those markers.
Yeah.
As sports fans, though, how receptive are we going to be? Because no matter what, with the Patriots, you watch every game. No matter how bad they are, there's only 17 of them. You're going to watch
if you're not doing laundry, that is.
Yeah, exactly. But how receptive are we going to be to have them lose the next, remaining games?
And what are the prospects for Mayo either? Let's say he is the coach next year. What are you looking at? Maybe 4-13?
Yeah. Why is Mayo so special?
Yeah, I've never seen anything from him.
I don't know that we'll be in the South. There's a lot of bad NFL teams out there. Even when we were bad, man, what were we, like 4 plays away from 4 more wins last year? I mean, like,
Timmy, are you watching these games?
Yeah, but
last year. I'm talking about last year, Scott.
Oh.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
the NFL just goes like this. It goes good, bad, good, bad. We agree he got some good plays in the draft this year. He got Gonzalez, right? There's some other solid kids.
Gonzalez has been the only player, and of course he's hurt. That
didn't we like some of those other guys?
We like this Keon White, but he's done absolutely nothing.
Well, he's hurt too. He's got a concussion.
Yeah,
but he didn't really do anything.
Is hurt too. This whole team is hurt too.
No, I know, but
they're playing a very tough schedule. They're playing good teams. So,
Joe, they didn't play a good team in the Raiders last week. What are you talking about?
That was a crappy
horrific team. That's a terrible team.
They're as bad as I've seen.
The irony is,
I was just thinking about this whole thing this week. It's our freaking turn to lose.
The irony is they should have lost that Jets game. If Zach Wilson, I mean, Zach Wilson was. They gave Zach Wilson so many opportunities to just get a touchdown.
He had to be so bad. He missed so many open guys, and didn't see open guys, and that final pass of the game, right? That could have easily been caught.
That ended on a safety too. Remember, just like
God
The
loves the
Page-
safety because I picked against the Pats last week, and I was ready to
Oh
hand
yeah, they
over the
covered it.
dough,
That's
and all
with
of a
that
sudden I
safety,
was like,
right?
"Oh,
The
safety,
under has
thank you
been your
very much."
friend. I think they've had the under on every game, even when they lost. Dallas scored what 34 points on them, but they didn't score any. And the over under was like 42 and a half.
Isn't it
Oh,
They're
amazing how
way
close?
under every week.
It's just
Oh.
shocking how they get these lines though, so down to the half a point. It's crazy.
So the Bears this week are playing a guy who was off the street and was a Division II quarterback last year. Was playing in front of like a few thousand people. Now we'll be playing at Soldiers Field. So my point is, Mac Jones is going to find a job in the NFL for quite a while. So do we?
Don't be so sure.
He's going to be in the NFL, Joe. If they're wheeling out guys who played Division II last year, they didn't even get drafted, and starting quarterback in week 7. I'm saying Mac Jones does, because he's on a rookie contract. What would you trade him for, as opposed to being your backup quarterback next year?
I don't think anyone will trade for him because remember, you got to pick up the option, and that's a lot of money for a guy
Why do you have to pick
that's
up?
going to be probably your third string or your practice squad guy.
You mean the fifth? No, the 5th-year option, right? No, he's got this is his 3rd
He's
year.
got one, but he still makes a lot of money.
What does he make, like $5 million?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
but I mean,
for a guy who might be on a practice squad or the emergency.
oh well, no,
quarterback
he'd
guy.
be the backup, Joe. Come on.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean,
You know,
what would
I'm gonna say the P word. He's a pussy.
What would you trade him for? What would you need, Timmy, to trade Mac Jones before the deadline? What pick? What round?
What do I need? Oh, if someone offered me a 3rd rounder, I'd fucking jump on it in a heartbeat.
If someone
All right,
offered a 7th rounder, I'd be amazed.
Oh, come on, Joe. Just come on.
No,
Joe,
why
no,
why
he
would
does not need
someone
better than that.
give you something for him that no one wants, and he still makes a lot of money comparatively?
He's terrible under pressure. He cannot extend a play. He's maybe the worst in the NFL at extending a play. And all of the good quarterbacks, that's like, you take their arm, their head, and then their legs are the next thing. He's lacking 2.5 of those, right?
Okay, all right. I'll play a little game with you. For a game for your life, your team has to win just this week for your life, not the future. Brian Hoyer or Mac Jones?
Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer.
Okay, that doesn't speak very highly of Mac.
Well, you saw them vis-a-vis both, and Hoyer shredded him.
Yeah, no, he's much.
Mac will lose a game for you. Hoyer won't lose the game for you.
Well, Hoyer did lose that Kansas City game a couple of years ago. Remember
he got sacked.
right before the half, he lost his mind.
Yeah.
But that's an anomaly for Brian Hoyer, though.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
He won't. He won't make that mistake ever again in his life. I bet.
He won the Super Bowl against the Rams.
Mac Jones will make a mistake and then make the mistake again, and then make the mistake again, and then so this throwing back against the field thing. What I mean,
especially when you have a weak arm, it's like punting it to the other team.
He's not Dan Marino,
Has Mac lost the team?
Oh yeah, he lost it last year. Last year, no one wanted to play with him.
This is Tony Eason times 10 to me.
Okay, has Bill Belichick lost the team?
No, he hasn't lost it yet, but
he still has to have some cachet. He has to.
They still talk about him with deference in every.
We're not talking about
press conference.
Have we lost those 3 or 4 leaders in the locker room that used to keep people in line? Did we finally lose the Teddy
Tom Brady,
the Willie McGinnis, the
I think McCourty,
anyone like that still on?
Well, I think
Devin McCourty,
yeah, great point. I think we lost McCourty, and I think he was a big part of that.
Well, and Matt and Slater isn't covering himself with glory this year. The other day he said, if I'd known it was going to be like this, I wouldn't have come back.
I know. I heard him say that. Yeah. Well, I don't
The
know why
most
he came
honest
back in
thing
the
said by
first
a
place.
Patriot in 20 years, right?
But he hasn't played well either. The special
No, he's
teams are the
been
worst in
awful.
football. And the special teams was the worst in football last year. So I don't know why he brought back the band. I don't know why he let Matthew Slater come back, to be honest.
I think because he was the leader type and they were losing McCourty and they didn't have anyone on offense.
Think about
All
who's that guy. Who's that guy in the locker room now? Hey, you better be in. You keep it to 3 beers the night before the game. Whatever they say, you know what I mean.
Yeah, David Andrews is your captain, and it's hard to be a big spokesman for a team when you're the center.
Yeah.
Like the most disrespected position on the team.
And I'll tell you, when you're in a winning team, boy, it's wine and roses every day.
Yeah.
When you're in a losing team, the fingers start getting pointed, the bad blood boils.
You don't even want to go to the game.
It's not a good place to be, man. It's not. You're
So
working
think
your
about it.
balls. The practices are just as hard. You know what I mean? And you get out there and you get your ass kicked, and it's very deflating.
So it's going to be stormy. It's a 1:00 game at Gillette Stadium. It's going to be stormy. It's the
Well, that helps the
against
Patriots.
Bills. Seriously, I mean, you'd have to pay me 4 figures to go to
I'll be
that
on a
game.
golf course in my wetsuit somewhere. So.
I mean, this is where I have to be honest with you. Of all the fans of the 4 sports, the Patriots fans deserve all this. They're the most arrogant group. The ones who go to the games are the worst group of fans of the 4 sports.
Hey, did I have
the Gillette crowd has been by far the worst. It's a whole different kind of Patriot fan than the traditional Patriot fan.
Totally.
The Gillette people just took over.
Yeah.
Did I have that box for the correct 20 years or what?
What year did you give it up?
We got it the year before they built the stadium.
Then what year did you give it up?
So we had it for 20 years.
After the Rams, right?
Yeah. All right. So you did the 19 season when Tommy was there.
Yeah.
And then that was it?
20 years we had it.
Did you do Cam Newton?
I forget.
No, I don't think you did the Cam Newton year because you were doing.
Brady was here for 20 years, right? Yeah, Brady was here for 20 years, right?
So you left when Brady left?
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect. Can you imagine? And that Bill's got to have.
Imagine being in a 10-year lease with that right now.
What were you paying a year?
I think it was $125. It's probably double that now.
Oh my! Can you imagine having to handle that?
And the secondary market for the Patriots was bad even back at the end of the Brady era. It's terrible now.
Oh my God. I'm going to tell you, I bet you seats for this, I bet you could be in the 200 level for easy under $100. Easy.
But though, Scotty, there's a lot of people out there. It's a family thing. They tailgate. The game is just like a portion of the day for a lot of those fans down there.
It's too long a day for me. It's just way too long.
Yeah, me too. It's a day, but a lot of people I know, they have vans, they have buses, they have RVs. It's like the thing that they do. A lot of booze.
I understand that, but and I had season tickets for a number of years, and we had fun doing that. But when the team stunk, I mean it was tough to get yourself.
Scotty,
I love going to Sullivan Stadium. You pulled up 5 minutes before the game.
Scotty, I was at Fenway. I was at Harvard. I was at BC. I was over at freaking BU. I think they played there for you. My father and his buddies went to every game. I remember sitting in a puddle at Harvard Stadium. They were losing 36-0 to the Vikings with Fran Tarkington and Chuck Muncie. And Joe Cap was our quarterback. And looking up at I think I was hypothermic. I was like 10 years old. And I said, can we leave, Dad? But it's like people just go. They're crazy about football,
I know. Well, you couldn't get me there.
Well, you couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me to go.
Well, the Patriots' first game was only about a couple hundred yards from your house, Scotty.
No, I know. I can see it.
It was at Braves. I remember it was at Braves Field. We went to the first game.
Braves Field, right? Okay, yeah, right.
It was still Braves Field there before BU had torn everything down. And BU didn't tear down all of Braves Field for many, many years, for like 10 years. after
Yeah.
they took over Breeze Field.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on one second.
Well, look, I mean, so this is the darkest days in Patriots history since the
Bud Rust.
1990s,
Yeah.
mid
Yeah.
The Joe
1990s.
the Joe Cap era. That was to me was the worst.
So what 1990? What Bledsoe
That would have
came
been like 10 years old.
95?
That would have been like 71.
No,
No,
Joe. Well,
69,
Timmy,
69, 68, 69.
no, Timmy. We had the worst record in football. What was it? 1994, and
Yeah.
then
Was
we
it
picked Bledsoe
94?
in 95.
That's
Is that
why
right?
we were able to remember the blooper bowl. Well, didn't we play the Colts? We were both like 1-14.
Who were some of the guys on that team?
With the bad team.
Teddy Bruschi,
Yeah.
Willie McGinnis. There was a lot of good players on that team.
See, and Parcells knew. That's when Parcells came in.
Oh
right?
yeah, he knew they were stocked with
He
some real
knew. He
talent.
knew. Parcells looked at that roster and said, "These
Sure
guys
did.
are on. They're on their way up." He picked it perfectly. They had the number one pick. Bledsoe was coming in, and the likes of Willie McGinnis. They had a lot of good talent on that team that went on.
Remember,
Obviously,
Timmy,
to do
do you
good
remember
things.
the big decision that offseason before the draft was whether they would pick Rick Meyer or Drew
Oh,
Bledsoe?
that was a serious question too, Scotty.
Yeah,
right?
right.
That
Meyer
was a
out of
serious
Notre
question.
Dame, which of course in Boston, anything Notre Dame, you're gonna
Yeah.
go. And
Bledsoe was the real
we knew
deal
about
though when
him.
he
He was
showed up, man.
University of Washington.
Bledsoe put this franchise back on the map. I mean,
Bledsoe was fun.
I remember. I think they only won 6 games, maybe, but it was the way they finished the season that year. They finished really looking good, you know.
But they were fun to watch.
Yeah,
With
they were competitive. They were battling some very good teams to tooth and nail, and
Remember
it was like
Coates?
this team's on the ride, you know.
Yeah. They had Ben Coates, Terry Glenn.
There was a lot of good players on that team.
Yeah.
Then they got
And
Curtis
it's just
Martin.
like to Tim's point, Brady looked around the NFL and said, "Oh, look, that was Tampa Bay. That defense is loaded.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to that team."
it was
Yeah,
smart.
Parcells knew what he was doing. He saw the direction this team was going in.
All right, boys, we got to go. And Joe, if you predict the way I think you may predict it, I don't know.
Oh no, I'm not gonna. I can't. But it would be just like the Patriots to screw up the season by winning a game like this.
Wait,
Wait,
have
wait,
you
what was-
predicted,
any
Joe?
idea
Have you predicted
what were
them
the
to win
predictions?
every week?
What were the predictions last?
No, I
Does anyone
predicted
know?
the Cowboys to win.
I had
Does
them
anyone
getting
know
wiped out.
Yeah, you had them getting wiped out. I had them only getting wiped out, beaten by 1 or 2.
Yes.
think I had
What
them
did
getting
you
beaten
take,
by, like,
Timmy?
I think I was like 28-10 or something like that.
I just want to mention I predicted them to be 5-12.
I know you were the only one. Me and Russ were the worst at 10-7. I think
Yeah.
Timmy came in at 9-8. But
Um,
you were the only one.
Eight. I think I was 8-9. I might have
There's
been
no
9.
chance they're winning 5 games. Zero chance.
Yeah,
Zero.
I agree. I can't
And
see
do
them
you remember
winning.
we're all scratching our head at the 6.5 Vegas number, and we're like, "What? What do they know that we don't know?"
You remember you
They knew
wanted
a
in
lot.
on that during the season too, like game 1 or 2. You're like, I 6.5 looks like a good bet. You didn't bet that,
Yeah.
did you?
No, I didn't know.
All right. All right,
I
Timmy,
think
give me
Russ did. Remember, Russ wanted that, but I think he said he only got 7.5.
Timmy, give me a prediction. Bills, Patriots at Gillette
Bills
Stadium.
38-3. Bills.
Yeah, look, go ahead, Joe.
Well, didn't you say it's going to be a sloppy, stormy day?
Yeah,
So we'll go with the Bills and the under. It's a big number though to cover 9.
yeah, 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bills given 9. So
Did you bet it?
yes,
Who'd you bet?
just on DraftKings, $10.
Who did you bet? Who did you bet? What team?
I took Buffalo in the under.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you took the Patriots. All right. So what's the score?
I might hedge it. Now I think you might be right with the weather forecast. That would change things quite a bit, and I think it would hold the score down. So we'll make it like 24-10. I don't know
And
how
you
the
have them
Patriots
scoring
going to
10
score 10
points.
points, but
Yeah, I don't know how that happens.
well, there's got to be a defensive touchdown sooner or later.
We're due for an interception or a fumble
Yes.
recovery eventually, right?
Look,
It's just the law of numbers, right?
How do you go from number one in the league one year to the dead last 32nd the next year?
yeah, and then don't act like they haven't quit on their coach, but that's just ridiculous. Look, Buffalo wants to stick it to the Patriots any way they can. They love to come here and stick it to the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
So they will, if they can run up the score to 70 plus, like the Dolphins did, they will be more than happy to do that. So 42-3, the Patriots will get a late field goal.
Who's going to be the quarterback at that point?
I just want to mention,
Okay,
we got kind of excited about the field goal kicker and the punter, young guys. They both stink. They've both been terrible. The punter's been terrible too.
Yeah, but the punter last year was terrible too. It just
but I mean,
stop getting lefties.
But I just want to mention, and then Nick Folk has not missed a kick yet.
There's 10 times as many righties in the world. Isn't it more likely you'll find a good righty than a good lefty?
Everything has just gone wrong.
Everything.
Every department, every decision,
and we need to get Matt Rowe out of here too. Matt doesn't know what he's doing about anything.
Well, I think he's just in way over his head because everyone's been promoted 3 positions more than they should have because of all the rating of the administration by the other teams.
Matt Groh should be like just going around and going, "What donut do you want? What coffee you want?"
Do
Exactly.
you want another T-shirt? Do you want a dry T-shirt?
I mean, this is ridiculous. All right, we got to do some positive news. We have to go to the Boston Celtics. Look, it's exhibition season, but everybody is so pumped up. The team. You get Al Horford like diving into the stands
They're up by 15 right now against Charlotte.
Look, I truly believe this. There's only 2 things that can stop this team: injuries and Joe Mazzulla. That's the only 2 things.
Injuries where they're not very deep. They have 6 very good players, 6 guys that could start on any team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then it drops off. Who's it? Danton, Brissett, and Pritchard.
Okay, right now, if you had to pick between someone gets, I'm not trying to cast any voodoo on anybody here, but if you could afford to get hurt, who could afford to get hurt, Porzingis or Tatum?
Wow, well, of course,
what would it affect him more, Tatum?
Tatum, of course, he's the star of the team.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Porzingis really takes the heat off him.
Porzingis is taking some of the sunshine, though, isn't he?
Oh yeah, well he can do so much, and now that's going to open up. That's going to give Tatum free shots instead of being double teamed. Now Tatum is going to be getting open threes, and he says he's added 12 pounds of muscle. He does look bigger.
And he was looking jacked last year. He gets a little more jacked every year. He's filling in.
Sometimes being jacked doesn't help you shooting, though. You ever notice
but
that?
Do you remember when he was younger? He could not take it to the hole.
No.
He could do a lot of stuff.
Around.
They pushed him around down low. Boy, he's getting that muscle on him now.
Remember Bam Adebayo just swatting that ball away when he was going in to tie the game? Couldn't even stuff the ball.
The muscle's important, fellas, because that's for the rigors of the season and the playoffs.
Yes.
These guys tend to lose weight and stuff. And this is the stuff that will help him sustain, and especially if he can sustain that and lift some weights during the season. Look, the key for Porzingis has never been his talent. It's been, can he stay on the court? It's going to be about Mazzulla being able to
I have a little more hope for Mazzulla. They seem to have surrounded him with some solid guys,
and even a senior mentor in Van Gundy.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a weird thing. So one of the reporters saw her on the letterhead or something, and they never announced it. They just snuck it onto the letterhead. and said, "Oh, that it said Jeff Van Gundy, senior consultant."
It was just added to the website, in
Yeah.
on the coaching page as senior consultant up at the top.
They never mentioned it at all. And then it's only when some reporter, like I said, saw it and then posted it on Twitter, and then a couple of days later they finally admitted to it. Look, Van Gundy is obviously quite experienced and knows the personnel across the league. I mean, that's nice to have a little.
I'm curious. Does he get a check every week now?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
He's probably getting like $1 million. He's not making what he made, as a broadcaster, but it's a lot easier gig. All he's doing is watching. He can live anywhere he wants and watch the main games and the Celtics games on video.
He's actually in Charlotte with them right now. I'm just bringing this up. If all of a sudden this team is 5th, 6th seed halfway through the season, I know us. Will we start saying
calling for Van Gundy?
Calling for Van Gundy
or Sam Cassell?
Now, no one's going to be calling for Sam Cassell, Joe. I can tell you that.
I could see that happening, Scotty. I could see that happening because everyone, all of these talking heads on TV, that is the only question mark next to this team is the coaching.
Right. And where was the Sam Cassells or the Lees, the other assistant coach Lees, the Van Gundys, when I know Udoka screwed us 3 days before the season, but there should have been 1 or 2 of these guys in place with Missoula.
Yeah, they all had jobs, though. These guys around the league, you couldn't bring guys in. And remember, other guys went with them. They all, when his guys went to other jobs.
Well, no, they lost Stoudemire during the season because he went to Georgia Tech, which I think was.
But he lost a couple of guys, and they lost a couple of guys to Utah. Remember, Will, what's his name? Hardy took a couple of guys with him. So the coaching staff was kind of stripped between Ime and the Utah thing. So the Missoula was starting out behind the 8 ball. I wasn't really cool.
Brad got lazy. He should have brought some other guys in. I mean,
but most of the guys that are good already have another job at that.
No, but you can bring in some old experienced guys, well-known names who aren't in the league right then, and they could have helped out.
Well, I will say, if things aren't going the way they're supposed to go, I could see Missoula going.
I can't see it not going the way it's supposed to go. They've got too much talent.
But no, Joe, I'm saying if all of a sudden,
I mean, if things can go, if things went south, but I can't see that happening. It's almost like a machine that will run itself.
Okay,
all the blame will be on all the blame will be on him.
All and rightfully so, because Brad has put together quite a team there.
7th guy is, we know the first 6. 7th guy is Pritchard. Agree?
Yeah, they're really highlighting him. Yeah.
8th guy.
I think it'll be Brissett though, coming off the bench.
The
7th guy.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, he's been the 7th guy here in preseason.
Okay, so 8th guy is Pritchard.
It all depends on the situation. They need some shooting. Pritchard's coming in. They need
9th guy is Hauser.
Rebounding. It's Brissett.
9th guy,
like Joe said, I think on Hauser, do they need some 3-point? They need someone just heaving the threes.
Yep.
I'll tell you this kid. What's his name? Nira. What's his name?
Yeah, they didn't play him at all against the Knicks. They sat him.
He looks good. That kid, big. He looks like a replacement for.
Well, he's played in the NBA, for a few years now. He's not a rookie or anything.
He looks Timmy, have you seen this kid? He looks exactly like Rob.
The kid with the tough name design. He's big. He's big.
He's 7 feet.
I haven't watched him much. Can he jump like Rob?
Oh,
no.
No one can. But he's tall. He's a lot taller than Rob.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna miss watching Rob. He was high entertainment.
Yeah, But this guy's 4 inches taller than.
But now I
Rob.
got a taste of Porzingis, the center that can, do the things Rob did and shoot threes. I mean,
Timmy.
And shoot and
I
shoot
know.
and
I
shoot
know.
and do the
No,
pick
I'm
and
just saying,
roll and everything else too. He can do
Rob
so
was
much.
highly entertaining. He was highly entertaining.
Quite the
Look,
jumper.
The guy that we're all gonna love is Holiday, man. He's legit. I mean, he is. I loved Brogdon on this team, but Brogdon, he's a couple of notches above Brogdon.
And about
He's
10
not
times tougher.
notch down offensively, but he's 4 notches up defensively.
And he's not made out of crystal either.
Right.
No, it's very funny. He has a weird body. He's actually kind of a heavy set kid.
Yeah. The Celtics are a big team. That their starters, that's a big team, especially if they start Horford and Porzingis rather than the 2 guards.
Yeah, look, I mean, as far as hype, I mean, obviously, is this the biggest hype since the Garnett Pierce years?
Oh, this is a bigger team.
I did notice when we played Milwaukee and they brought in that Lopez. Lopez just towered over everyone out there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We did, it's good to just have like Porzingis, that big giant body. We were people always, if there was a rebound up for grab, Lopez was getting it.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't believe we got Porzingis. I've wanted Porzingis since we started the league.
Brad's wanted him forever.
Holiday.
I guess he's been trying to get him for years.
Well, he's such a
Brad
versatile
Stevens-
guy for a big man. He can
Brad
he
Stevens
can really
gets
do
everybody
everything.
we want. He literally gets everyone we want. I mean, can you imagine how happy we'd be if Brad Stevens was the general manager of the Boston Red Sox?
Oh,
Sub him out to everybody right now.
We
right?
were just like, oh yeah, Soto. Can you get?
Don't you
Soto?
believe he could walk into the Red Sox and make the correct decisions too?
Oh,
Not even being a baseball guy.
not
make
even
the
a
correct
question in my
decision.
mind.
he already would have traded for Juan Soto, right? And
Yep.
signed him to an extension.
There's no question. And Otani would be here and looking at houses in Brookline.
He would have traded 5 top prospects who one of them only would have seen the light of day in the big leagues anyways.
Well,
and
that's
got it done.
what they'll do they could get Soto with a bunch of bums, and they got to get rid of an outfielder, so send Verdugo.
Oh, I'm all in. Soto's only 24. I mean,
He's only got 1 more year in his contract, but
anybody who trades for Soto,
he's like getting Manny.
anyone who trades Soto is obviously have to come up with an agreement before you announce the trade.
We need stars. We need stars.
Oh, he's a star.
I want to be at Fenway with the sweater on. That's where I want to be.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous of the Philly fans.
You know what popped up on my phone today? The picture of me and Ryan at the World Series.
Oh, from 18.
Yeah.
I know. The Phillies fans look like they're having so much fun.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
I know.
I saw an amazing statistic the other day in the 4 World Series playoff runs, 04, 07, 13, and 18. Only 2 starting pitchers were Red Sox farmhands. Of all the playoff games in those 4 years, only 2 pitchers were started with the Red Sox and started a game in any of those games.
John Lester?
Lester, let me see. Wait, and Buchholz?
Yes, that's the only 2. No one else did. That's how bad the Red Sox. And remember, in the 80s and 90s, they were bringing up pitchers a lot. They've had nothing. They've had nothing in a long time.
That's why we need to sign guys.
Yeah. You got to trade for them or sign them.
That's fine. I don't care. I just want the best players in every position. That's all. I don't care how much we
You don't want much.
I think we have to make.
I want 2 megastars. 2 megastars.
Okay,
that was Theo's position. Have at least an average or above average guy at every position, but at least average.
I'm saying this especially for Joseph, Uncle Joe. From now on, we don't care. We have to make a vow to each other. We don't care how much our sports team spend. I'm not at least been interested in that at all. I want them to spend as much money as humanly possible.
Yeah, but I want him to spend it wisely. Spend it. You don't spend it on Pablo Sandoval's.
And
No.
Trevor
That's just
Stories.
throwing it
And
away.
Trevor Stories. You know what I mean?
And Rusney Castillo's. You can't do
The
it
fire
that way.
sale. The fire sale.
Don't
The Trevor
spend
Stories.
just to spend. You get the good guys.
The last
Yeah.
free agent standing. You know what I mean?
So I guess we have to go to the Red Sox. I'm so tired of this whole GM search stuff. Look, and then
Are we getting Craig Breslow? Because that seems to
who
be.
didn't want look the whole who didn't want to interview for the job? Is that's the flavor of the week? A storyline.
Now, you know what you do? You know what you do? If you want someone, you go get them. They say no, you ask again. They say no, you fly down on your jet and you
make
take
them
them
an
out on
offer.
the yacht and you wine and dine them and do what you got to do. You aim for your objective and you go and get it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Timmy. I don't believe any of the stuff that some assistant GM on some team doesn't want to interview to be the head guy in the Boston Red Sox. I'm not
The next
believing
Theo
any
Epstein.
of that.
You know what I
If
mean?
money talks, bullshit walks. And
You
if
bring
that
this team
money's
back
there.
to relevance in this town, you will be Theo Epstein all over again.
Absolutely. And then they do have a lot of good prospects on this.
But you know
team.
what? One thing I like about it though, it's a wake up call possibly to John Henry. I don't know if he's wakeable, but you know,
Yeah,
I think
right.
this team has become a line item for John Henry. This might be a little slap to say, "Hey, buddy, you better start freaking paying attention over here." You know,
Yeah,
your team is becoming irrelevant. The high and mighty, powerful Red Sox have lost. The shine is off the penny. You know,
I don't think he cares. I really don't believe he cares. I think he's
you
done
could
with
be
the Red
right,
Sox.
Scotty. You know, sell it to some billionaire that cares. You know what I mean?
Oh, can you imagine the line of rich people, or obviously the groups that could get together to buy the Boston Red Sox?
I don't
Oh,
want a group. I want one filthy, filthy rich guy who loves baseball.
He
That's
wants
why
like a Steve Cohen to buy it.
I don't want a bunch of guys. I want one rich guy to buy it.
yeah, I agree with you.
But I don't think you see that too much anymore.
Well, look,
You might not, but that's what I want. That's what I want.
To show you guys, we talk about, we need 2 stars starting pitchers. To show you how weak starting pitching is in the major leagues, in game 4 of the NLCS, the Arizona Diamondbacks will make it a bullpen game.
Yeah.
There you go. A bullpen game. How did they get to the NLCS and they don't even have a 4th starter to pitch? It shows you there is a lack of starting pitching across the league. So if you think you're going to get these guys, you are going to pay up pretty.
Well, and a lot of it is the way they treat guys like Whitlock and Tanner Houck. They come up and they only have to pitch 3 or 4 innings. They start.
But you can see, Joe, why they want to try to convert them into starters.
Yeah, but you got to make it. If you're going to make them a starter, make them a 6-7 inning starter.
Yeah, I mean,
keep him in there. Whether let him get wrapped around a little, then he'll learn to pitch.
So for all the
I agree, Joe. I agree.
Chaim Bloom just drafted high school shortstops. That's what he loves to do. What you need to be
Best
doing
athlete
is
available.
you need to say this whole draft for this year, I'm just drafting starting pitching. The whole time.
Well, Scotty, if you can get the best guy though, and then convert him into tradable material for a starting pitcher.
Yeah, but he didn't do that.
Yes,
he never traded any of these guys. He kept them
held
all.
on to all the even the worst prospects he wouldn't part with.
What role is Sam Kennedy doing right now? Because I feel like Sam Kennedy is not qualified to run the Boston Red Sox.
But he has John Henry's ear or Warner's ear. He's got someone's ear.
No question.
He's got the dirty laundry. He's got the pictures. I know they're not going to do this.
He's been around so long that he's the only one, and everyone else has changed in the administration. So he's the only one they know to go talk to when they have meet and greets and stuff.
All I hear is how many vice presidents the Red Sox have. Do they just have to clean house? Will they clean house?
They're not going
capable
to.
Of cleaning house?
They're not going to.
The
No.
way
No,
that they just keep promoting people from within until they have a top heavy
What do you
administration
have, 38 vice presidents or something ridiculous like that? Something
Really?
crazy.
and like 5 executive vice presidents. You know,
Look, again, I'm going to stick with my prediction. Alex Cora is running this organization right now with Sam Kennedy. They're going to bring in that kid, that guy Romero, who's been in the organization for a while, and he's going to be their figurehead puppet. But Cora is going to be running everything.
I don't know.
I don't know if I like that.
I think John Henry wants to go for someone from the outside.
Well, look, Breslow, from what I'm hearing, wouldn't have the top job. He'd have Halloran's job.
Yeah, he's more like he would be jumping 2 positions from where he is now with the Cubs. I mean, if he was to be GM, because he's an under-assisted type guy, you know. He's
So
like
who's-
head of minor league personnel or something.
I bet you they make Romero the top guy, Heim's position, and they put Breslow as the GM.
How would you feel about that?
Look, I don't feel good about it because I think by putting Romero in the position, you're basically making Alex Cora the head of the organization, the manager and the head of player personnel.
So, I've also heard that then you can make Veritek the manager when you scoot Cora upstairs like Russ likes.
Yeah, but that would be in a couple of years. You're not gonna clean house with Romero.
That's the eventual evolution of that move. If he make Romero the guy, that Cora will eventually be his right-hand man or take over.
This is a huge decision for the Red Sox because they cannot keep flipping these guys. They cannot keep flipping. Like you're talking about Cora taking this job in 2 years, you know what I mean? Taking Hines' job in 2 years. If I'm coming in here, like I want at least a 6-year plan. You know what I mean? I don't want to come in and be the seat warmer for Cora.
Yeah. Well, you know, they had Dombrowski here. He got them a World Series champion. They got rid of him. So what's he doing now? He's getting Philadelphia World Series champion.
Yeah, they were in the World Series last year too.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the World Series.
You got to say Dombrowski is the most successful executive around.
There's no question about it.
I wonder how, it looks at the bottom line when they do the tax at the end of the year.
Oh, it's expensive, but you got to pay for success a lot of times.
Timmy, we'd be at the game right now.
I know. I could give 2 shits. I think John Henry's just worried about his next acquisition, his next real estate deal.
Yeah, what do we care? What do you care about the tax and how much?
That's why I'm saying I want some billionaire who just wants to win a World Series to come in. For any billionaires out there, any billionaire that's watching right now, apply for the job.
So many of them. Just think, it's a beautiful night too. What's the temperature? It's a beautiful. Can you imagine?
54 here.
54 degrees. 56 here in Brooklyn.
I have a light jacket on. It's perfect out here.
And we'd be at the game right now.
My friend the giant spider moved though. I don't know where he moved to.
Section 30. Just enjoying ourselves. Yeah. I want that. I don't want Facebook memories, which they're very sweet and wonderful. I want to be there. I want to be making memories tonight. I want us all to be there. I know.
Oh man.
Again,
so jealous of Philly.
The Celtics scrubs, they're not playing any of the starters, are up by 24.
No, look, this has before we go to the Bruins, it has the feel of 1986 with the Celtics. That would you agree?
I'm hoping it's not the feel.
I think that was a deep team.
Grandpa broke his leg. That's the last time I was this excited.
Do you think it's the first year of Garnett, Allen, and Pierce?
No, Grandpa broke his leg.
No. Joe, you mentioned
07, you mean? 86, that was a deep team though. They were deep.
When they added Walton, that added something special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but this team it has a great first six. I mean,
no, but don't
As
sleep
good
in
a
the fact
first
that
six as you're gonna see.
no, don't sleep in the fact that Brad is going to get some, buyout veterans. He's going to get some.
Oh, that and like Hauser and Pritchard, guys like that have another year with Missoula's system. They're gonna fit in a little better this year than they did last year.
All right,
Cornet.
one position that could be beefed up for the Celtics. What position is it?
Of course, it's going to be big man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
They got 3 7-footers, Tim, in Porzingis, Cornet, and the guy that Scotty.
Unpronounceable name.
Yes.
What are we
We'll
gonna
get
call
to
him?
know him, but
We gotta get a name for him. What's his?
the guy with the crazy name, Osama or something.
We'll just call him
But-
Q. Isn't his last name? Q?
Yeah.
We'll call him Q. NQ. I think
Yeah.
that's his
NQ.
initials.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go to the Bruins, 2-0. So in Tankathon, I love that Tankathon site. I'm all the time. So they do basically they have it right now that the Bruins would play Vegas in the Stanley Cup final.
Right now.
Right now, both of them are 2-0 and whatever. Yes, that's how they play things. So that sounds good. We thought that was going to be
the
last
Bruins
year.
played two of the worst teams in the NHL, and they just squeaked by.
Oh, I don't know if Chicago's the worst team anymore.
Well, they were the worst team last year. That's why they got the first.
That kid Bedard, he was out there half the game. Let me tell you, I'm just gonna steal the show for a second here. Is this kid fun to watch? My good, small, but he's stocky. As a defenseman, he has this. I found out he broke his. He's a right-handed shot. He broke his right hand. He broke his right wrist very severely, and they put him in a cast for a year. Right. He went out and shot like 1,000 pucks a day with his left hand, right, one-handed.
Till he was better than that lefty.
And all of a sudden, that cast came off, and he went to shoot a puck, and he had a freaking laser. So every kid in the world, I think, is out there with, tying their right hand behind their back, shooting with one hand right now. This kid has a way when he, there's something called a toe drag in hockey where you kind of pull it back and you curl it around. He brings that shot back. Now, as a defenseman, you have your gaps. So you get like a 4-foot gap, right? And when I would see a guy going to, take a snapshot, my stick goes out, and usually you could make contact with that puck as it's leaving his stick, and it's going to shoot up into the stands, right? This kid pulls it like 6 inches further back, and when he lets it go, the goalies don't even move. If it's and he hits the inside of posts and crossbars. I've never seen anybody in my life shoot the puck like this kid can shoot.
He's got the comp would be he's got a quick release like Dan Marino used to have as a quarterback. It's on his stick and then it's in the goal.
What numbers is he putting
so
up right
fast.
Now?
He had a goal against the Bruins.
Yeah,
and,
that wraparound.
And it was kind of cool. Ryan Donato had the assist on it. His dad was there.
And Hall had the other assist. It was Hall and Donato.
Yeah. It looked like the Bruins Midwest or something out there,
And Foligno is like
Foligno, I'll tell you, Hall looked pretty good too.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be missed.
That's a nice little line that they had there with Hall, Donato, and Bedard.
I tell you, every time Bedard got the puck, he was a threat to score. Every time.
He was getting 2 Bruins every time.
Yeah.
Games at 10:30 night. Will you guys watch?
It's getting recorded here. I don't know if I'll make it.
I'll be Tubby night.
Yeah.
But the Bruins look pretty good. I'll tell you who looked great was Swayman. Looked very.
He was awesome in
Saturday night too. He was awesome Saturday night too. Very, very good.
Wait, Omar played the first game, right?
Yeah, against
Swayman
Nashville, though, Swayman was very, very good. He kept him in the game for the first 2 periods, and then they came alive in the third.
Freaking Montgomery not putting in Swayman.
Should have just kept rolling them. Should have just the Bruins, what they've been coming out slow in the first period and then taking the second and third periods. That's what they've been doing.
That's what they did last year. That was their kind of MO last year.
I'm hearing potential trade. Who would they?
Right, let's just jump to this. That kid Poitras is going to stick around too. Poutois, however,
he's already on the second line. He's with Marchand and
very, very similar to Bergeron's game. He finds space on the ice. He doesn't panic with the puck.
things happen around him. He creates things. Things
Yeah,
happen around
pleasantly
him.
surprised by Milan Lucic too. I tell you, he was flying up and down the ice.
What is their need right now?
I couldn't believe it.
What?
Oh, they could use another star. They could use another scorer on one of those lines. You know,
Yeah, that Poitras, Marchand, and I forget who else is on that line.
Greer, is it Greer?
Yeah,
Greer they got rid of.
Or Geeky.
They got rid of Greer.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
not
Greer's
Greer.
gone. I think it's Geeky.
I mean, Geeky is his name.
Yeah. Well,
And that's a couple of young guys on the line. That's usually not a good recipe for a second line, but they wanted to put Van
Van Riemsdyk.
down with Coyle on a heavy line with I forget who else, to have that line.
but I'm going to make a prediction, guys. Brad Marchand's done. He's
He's
done.
the captain.
I don't think he is what he was.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's quite done. I don't think he's done, Scotty, but he's not what he was.
Yeah, I think that the expectations are high, but I think that he was not good in the playoffs.
Two hip operations.
Yeah, you can't. We know, and Timmy, you've spoken about this so many times. Once these guys have any kind of hip injuries, they're done.
It's tough. I hope not. I hope, he hasn't looked out of place out there, but he was spectacular to watch. I mean, he was a ball of fun out there.
Great stick work. Great stick.
He's he's still kind of effective. He's not that guy you're going, oh my goodness, though, anymore.
Yeah, well, naturally, at some point, they got to come down.
Timmy, how did you like that Pasternak penalty shot the other night?
Oh my God!
Where he hit the puck behind him and then just slashed it in there.
Yeah, boy, that ref was calling everything. My God, it was people were breathing on each other. He was calling for roughing. It was crazy. Every minute he was throwing his arm up for something.
I didn't think he'd get a penalty shot on that.
I didn't either. Boy,
he gave it to him.
That ref was ticky tacky all night long.
All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Thursday night at 7:00 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.